Panther people, what up? Show me those beads. The Panthers are going streaking against the Saints.
150,000.
Go on and watch Panthers Post. Thanks for joining. Before I get started, make sure you check out Queen Cotton. Click on the link in the description below. Type in the promo code POST, P-O-S-T, 10 for 10% off. You're supporting a small business in North Davidson, and they got sick Panthers merch, Charlotte FC merch, Hornets merch, and just all things Charlotte merch. It's the absolute best. Click the link. Give them a shot. Go on and watch Panthers Post. Thanks for joining. Let's talk about your 5-4 Carolina Panthers taking on the 1-8 Aints. I don't even know who their starting quarterback is. All I know is I just keep seeing that clip of him in the combine, just making absolutely no sense with that throw. But the Panthers are suddenly on the national stage again. Now, mind you, as we now have figured out, the national media they don't watch the Panthers every single day. They don't listen to WFNC. They don't watch all the press conferences like we do. They don't know about Panthers Twitter and how vicious it could be. So they are now cluing into the Panthers. It could potentially be a good team, according to Pat McAfee. Mind you, I'm saying it. I think he's saying it a bit facetiously. People like Taylor Lewan from Bussin' with the Boys, say what you want about them. I dig them. I like their show. I like what they did. It's player run, so you got to give it some respect. They called the Packers' loss to the Panthers last week a trap game for them. I don't buy that kind of stuff. I really don't. It's the National Football League. It's week 9. It's not week 16. There was a lot at stake for a lot of these teams. And, the Panthers are suddenly making it to the national media. And people are saying, you know what, maybe this team is better than we thought. Or there's some folks out there saying, hey, we always thought this team was going to win 7, 8, maybe 10 games. They're now figuring things out. They just tend to stumble out of the block for the last 2 seasons under Dave Canales. But there are those out there who are seeing the Panthers moving up the power rankings. I saw one, I think it was PFF, still ranking the Panthers 28th out of 32 teams. But then I've seen others having the Panthers ranked as high as 17, which is pretty intense. But again, you got to look at this league, and everyone's kind of built to be around 500. The Panthers are 1 game up on 500. They could very well be 6-4 a week from now when they take on the Saints at home at the bank, where they were 3-0 before they took on the Buffalo Bills without Bryce Young. And you had an Andy Dalton playing with just one hand. And so the Panthers are making noise. The pressure's on them. How are they going to react to that? Now people are talking about them a little bit. Obviously, they're not, the Lions. They're not even really getting as many headlines as the Chicago Bears right now with Caleb Williams, everyone leaving him for dead. They play really crazy games. Doesn't make any sense how they win, but here they are. They narrowly beat the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Flacco. Either way, but there is now a little bit of a spotlight on the Panthers. Like, how are they going to do now? This is a divisional game against someone who, they're not tanking for Arch Manning because Arch Manning probably is not going to go into the draft this year, but they're 1-8. Terrible team. They just traded 2 of their young pieces in Penning and Shaheed, the wide receiver. He's going all the way to the Pacific Northwest to play with the Seattle Seahawks, who the Panthers are going to be seeing around Christmas time. So it's not like they're completely out of him yet, because there are moments in the past where he has definitely put a number on the Panthers, but it was a different quarterback also throwing him the ball. But the Panthers, they have a chance to really start making some noise in the division. You had Tampa Bay. They have a bye week. They're up against the Patriots. And while you cannot rely on other teams and hoping that they crash and burn, you can only care about yourself. The Panthers could find themselves in the driver's seat depending on how they take care of business the next literal couple weeks, because they're taking on the Saints this week. Again, 1-8, not a good team. And then you're taking on the Atlanta Falcons, who could be hot, could be cold. They could beat the Minnesota Vikings and then get completely shut out by the Panthers in a divisional game when normally divisional games are pretty close. And so you have them back-to-back weeks. There's a chance that the Panthers in a couple weeks from now are 7-4, which is crazy. Some people thought that maybe that was going to be their win total by the end of the year, because after that, you have a series which hasn't even started yet against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So the last 3 weeks of the season, it is Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home against the Mariners, the Seahawks, and then you wrap up the year against the Buccaneers. And the NFL does this. At the end of the year, week 18, the last game is really to try to determine the division for teams that are, in the hunt still. It could be completely nothing burger like it was in the past. But now the Panthers could potentially, depending on how they play, that could decide the division. The very last game of the season, that's exactly what the NFL wants. But first, you got to take care of business this week at home, taking on the Saints, wearing their white helmets. So not sure what the Panthers are going to be rocking. Mike Kay from Charlotte Observer said they're wearing their processed blue practice jerseys. I don't know if that means they're going to go Blue with the black helmet again. I haven't looked at the schedule in terms of the uniform and helmet schedule, but I think they have another game at least. We can rock the black helmets, and it just looks like the best. They're their best looking team when they wear the black helmet, blue jersey, black pants. To me, that is maybe one of the best jerseys, if not the best jersey helmet combo in the National Football League. So yeah, the Panthers going to be interesting to see how they do with. They're now the favorites to win this game. How do they deal with that? They're great at the come from behind wins. We know Bryce is a sicko like that. He loves coming from behind. That sounds awful, but he loves the comeback victories. And he's coming off a quiet game. Man passed for 100 yards. Rico Dowdle just did his damn thing. 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tetra McMillan should have had a score, but it didn't happen. So the stats could have been a little bit better for Bryce, but plays were left on the field. But I predicted last episode that this is going to be a big game for Bryce. He was out with a high ankle sprain, miraculously back after a week. He has had time to sit down, look at the playbook, and then basically last week it was just, his highlight was telling Rico Dowdle a fake pass protection and then giving him the ball with less than a minute to go in the fourth to kind of ice the game against the Packers. That was his highlight. His highlight was that and like a facial expression. That was his highlight. So I think back home, he's going to read through the playbook. He knows this Saints team. They normally split the series. They could potentially sweep the series against the Saints. They're that bad. You would think that Bryce will come out firing. You have Tetra McMillan, who I think is going to have a big game. I don't know any of their corners I could probably keep up with T-Mac. And you've had Jalen Coker still kind of getting back into game shape after that quad injury. He almost has as many receiving yards as Adam Thielen, who has now been traded to the Minnesota Vikings, we all know. Xavier Legette hasn't been gosh awful, but he's been making moves. He's been making strides. He's not making mistakes. That's the big one. And, they're still trying to find a consistent contributing play of some kind for Jimmy Horn Jr. Like they have the jet sweeps, kind of has that down pat. He's had some big catches in the past with Bryce Young. Hopefully they continue to work on that chemistry now that they're back in Charlotte, kind of back in familiar grounds. I can see Bryce having a big game against the Saints because he might have to, because Rico Dowdle, who has almost 700 yards rushing and only a couple of starts under his belt this year. He might be hurt. I think he's still going to play. He's a dog like that. But this could be a Chuba Hubbard game. Mainly Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle just kind of put him on ice, specifically because this is a winnable game. Chuba has had success against the Saints before. Chuba, not a bad back. Not at all. Never said he was a bad back. He is a different back. He's a bit more old school, straight ahead, not that explosive. He used to be in college, but not anymore. Doesn't really catch the ball out of the backfield like a Rico Dowdle. But if you just want to be punishing and you want to continue and double down on this Panther type offense that they're doing, run the ball, play stout defense. Chuba Hubbard is that kind of guy if Rico is not at 100%. I could see Rico Dowdle 100% being a part of this game plan. But if he's hurt, I have full faith in Chuba Hubbard that he's going to be good. The man is paid because he's good, but you rest your laurels on either Rico or Chuba or both. And then Bryce, I see that he's going to make up for the wrongs he did last week. The interception intended for Xavier Legette, maybe it was the wind. It was weird. They were going in that direction where the wind was super strong. The DB kind of had an over-the-shoulder catch. Crazy. I think he's going to make up for that. I could see Tetra McMillan and Bryce having that Cali connection. Maybe 1 or 2 scores out of 4. I could see some big catches out of Xavier Legette as well. There's just no one on this Saints defense that really scares me. Speaking of defense, I think the Panthers' run defense they always had a tough time against Alvin Kamara, but they have been shutting down some elite rushing attacks, whether it's from the Miami Dolphins. I know they're crap, but they have a pretty good rushing game. They shut that down. The Green Bay Packers, their offense, I think they had around 300 yards in offense, 340 yards in offense, and they passed for 260. They could not rush the ball against the Panthers. Derek Brown is playing like the best defensive tackle in the National Football League. Turk Wharton is kind of finding his stride. He had a sack against Jordan Love. They didn't trade for anybody. So it is still Mike Williams, Mike Jackson, and J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn having another Pro Bowl year. Mike Jack dropped that interception in the end zone against Green Bay. Could have had a pick 6, but he must have a boost of confidence knowing that this Panthers team did not pick up anybody. They believe in him, at least for this year. Tell him not to look at Tankathon mock drafts right now because the Panthers, who are thankfully not picking in the top 8, are drafting a cornerback out of Clemson. So I don't think that's actually going to happen. They did have an interview with Asante Samuel Jr. He had spinal fusion surgery. I feel like that's kind of a big deal. That's kind of a big surgery to recoup from, especially for a defensive back where there's a lot of twisting involved. And if your spine and your vertebrae are literally fused together, I think that could be an issue. But he didn't sign with the Panthers. He's taken a couple other more meetings, but they have the intent on trying to bolster this defense, but without getting rid of draft picks. I think Christian Roseboom and of course, his name escapes me right now. But the linebacker corps are playing better. Nate Scorton picking up the slack for Princey Uman-Milan, who's kind of banged up right now. They just traded away Trevor Penning to the Los Angeles Chargers, I believe. And so the Saints offensive line, a little bit younger, a little bit depleted now heading into this game. Who is going to come out on top? Is it going to be Nick Scorton? Is Turk Ward going to take advantage of, now an offensive line that's going to have to move things around a little bit? And so that's going to be cool. Trayvon Moehrig is coming off a pick. He has been highly praised right now. Him, Latham Ransom. I think they're going to have a field day, our defensive secondary against the quarterback. Again, they don't have Shaheed, who is one of those wide receivers who just gave the Panthers headaches. Chris Olave doesn't scare me, especially if JC Horn is on him. Hopefully they scheme away that, JC is on him as much as possible, but I trust Mike Jack at this point in the season, trying to hold him down. Their tight ends are pretty good. Obviously, Alvin Kamara, I wish they could make more of him. The way they have Yoshinobu Yamamoto out of the Los Angeles Dodgers, why can't they just teach all pitchers to be like that? Why can't they teach all running backs to be like Alvin Kamara, just the way he plays? He's Gumby. He's not static. He's not solid. He's very fluid. You can never get a clean shot on him. I know he's getting older, but he still has it. It's a division game. You never know. He could be up for it. Also, surprised that he was on the trade market, like in some of the rumors out there, but I think he feels comfortable where he's at. I can't believe he's been in the league as long as he's been. It just seems like a while. And it could be credit to how he plays. You just can't get a clean shot on that guy. I've never, ever seen him get blown up. But if the Panthers' run defense can do its thing, shut Kamara down, shut Taysom Hill down, hate that guy so much. Shut both those guys down, put the onus on their quarterback, and I think the Panthers should come away with this. Yeah, it's a division game, but so was the game against Atlanta, and the Panthers embarrassed them completely. Literally had Michael Penix crying, sat him down. Kirk Cousins was in the game. And so I wouldn't be surprised if this is a blowout, like a 28-0 or like 30-10 type game for the Panthers. I could see some scary moments again. It is a divisional game. I 100%. We have to account for maybe a Bryce Young pick. There could be a Bryce Young weird pick, throw it straight to a defensive end or something like that. Maybe the Saints go up 10-0 early, and then the Panthers storm back at home at the backs of the fans. Like Charlotte FC doing great in MLS playoffs right now. I don't really know how the Hornets are doing. I also don't know how the Raptors are doing, because that's just where I'm at with the NBA. But the fans at Bank of America Stadium have been amazing from what I understand, from what I can see from the TV. And hell, Panthers Mike.
What's up, y'all? I got a question. Y'all ready to support these Carolina Panthers as they keep pounding against these Green Bay Packers? Yeah, spent $150,000 on a football team. Wait a minute, that's not enough to buy a team. Spent $150,000 on a tricked out Porsche. Wait, what? Minnesota, it snows too much.
What would you do at $150,000? I don't know, but if I could go viral like that, that would be pretty amazing. Have the Panthers use my videos on their social media. If I'm the Panthers and Panthers Mike isn't at the game on Sunday, just sing the song all game long. Anytime there's a commercial break, anytime there's a timeout, put that man on the stage, have him sing it, give him real money, and just have him thrown up in the air. Like that, that guy. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent now. That guy, plus the game footage from the locker room afterwards and during the game against the Packers, like that was giving me 2019 LSU Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase vibes. Just embracing the fact that this is a team from the South. Everyone's having fun. No one expected anything from us. Yeah, this fan is kind of goofy, but he believes it. He believes in himself. He believes in the Panthers, and I believe in him. And he is a fan that's not going to quit. He's been making these videos. Take a look at his Instagram. He hasn't stopped making videos about the Panthers. The man performs at bars on open mic night, or maybe it's an actual paid gig, and sings that song, raps that song, whatever. And if he's not at the game this weekend, I will roaring riot. I will riot if he's not there. I want to see him in the commercial break, and people be like, "Who the hell is this guy in pleated khakis and a polo with $100 of fake bills in his belt?" I need him there. So yeah, if he's there, I think the Bank of America Stadium will go absolutely ballistic. I think the Panther players will love it. Like Jonathan Stewart is literally singing to the song while driving and then dancing on the side of the road. Like it could be a sensation if the Panthers continue winning and continue playing this dude's song as like their now anthem and keep going. I mean, that could be one of the best stories of the season. Just saying. And Dave Canales could be firmly in the Coach of the Year nomination shortlist. Anyways, I think the Panthers are going to win. Don't bet on it because I don't want you to get mad at me. But yes, it's a divisional game, as I mentioned, but so is the Atlanta game. And in my opinion, heading into the season, I was afraid of Michael Penix. Again, I don't even know who the Saints quarterback is. Shuck. I could see it in my head. I think if it was Rattler, it'd be a little bit different because that guy can air it out. He's kind of reckless like that. But they're missing arguably their most productive wide receiver. They're one of their offensive linemen, left tackle, gone. And so they don't have our offensive line coach. So they're not going to have the same type of coaching that our offensive line does, which is on its seventh combination thus far. I expect our defensive line to eat. I expect our defensive backfield to destroy whoever or whatever game plan that the Saints might have. And I think the offense, as long as Bryce doesn't make any mistakes, as long as he doesn't throw the ball away or fumble the ball away, I trust our backfield, whether it's Rico Dowdle or Chuba Hubbard. I think Tetra McMillan is going to have a big game. Mitchell Evans, I can see him contributing as well. And hey, Jalen Coker, this could be a nice little come up game for you for this year. If he can come out there and really make them, because he's going to get single coverage. Like they're going to be covering Tetra McMillan kind of like Megatron. They're going to double team his ass. It's up to Xavier Leggett or Jalen Coker to come out and take advantage of that single coverage and make them pay. And we know that Jalen Coker, not the fastest guy, but if he wants to outrun people, he could do it. And Xavier Leggett, haven't seen it yet in the league, but if he can body some dudes in the red zone, I could see him taking advantage again of lighter coverage with Tetra McMillan getting all the attention. So I think Panthers are going to win. I'm going to say it now. I think it's going to be a blowout. 31-17 or 31-10. 31-10 for the Panthers. Bryce Young over 200 yards passing. Tet, one touchdown. Chuba, one touchdown. Rico, one touchdown. That's 21 points. And then let's go Mitchell Evans for a touchdown and a couple field goals. Let me know what you guys think. Again, QueenCon 10% post 10. Do it. Let them know I sent you. See you guys Sunday after the game.